thought that was a filter at first. But seriously though, I got some crazy stories about people taking their braces off. In fact, I saw a patient last week that took their braces off. So to preface before we get into the story, a lot of the times people take these off for one of two reasons. One, normally what happens is the parents bring their kids in, they start treatment, and then all of a sudden the parent can't afford it. And so they end up just dodging the orthodontist and they completely just forget about their kid and all the braces on their stuff. And then a year, 2 years, 3 years, sometimes 5 years later, the kid's finally fed up and it's like, well, if you're not gonna take me to the orthodontist, I'm gonna pop these things off myself. And then they go in and they rip them off. Now the other option is somebody decided to do their own at-home braces and they went ahead and they glued everything on, and then eventually after seeing it's not doing what they wanted to, or they get to a point that they're confused, they go ahead and just pop them off. Now the only issue with this is that, well, there's glue still stuck onto your teeth, and unless you have a Dremel and some nice burrs and some good polishing stuff at home, which I highly doubt you do, and even if you did, it would probably be a nail version of it, and regardless, you're not gonna have a way to get this glue off. And so we get patients all the time that will come in and they'll basically completely ignore the fact that they've got glue on their teeth, like I'm not gonna notice. So I had a patient come in and basically we went through everything, and all of a sudden I noticed there was little glue spots on his teeth, and I was like, hey, what's going on with these? And at first he looks at me, he's like, oh yeah, no, I forgot, I had braces back in the day, and yada yada yada. And I was just kind of like, okay, this is a little bit confusing. And I say, okay, well cool, give me your orthodontist name and number, and we'll talk to him and figure out exactly what happened in your treatment, and then we can go from there. Now just so you guys know, legally we can't really start braces on a patient who's already started with another orthodontist, because normally they're in contract, they may owe them money, there could be a bunch of different things going on. And then all of a sudden this guy basically realized he could not give me an orthodontist name, number, or anything. He's like, all of a sudden I can't remember my orthodontist office, I can't remember his name, I can't remember anything about it, where it was located, what city, and that throws off a red flag for us. And so obviously, knowing that it's probably one of the two scenarios, I finally asked him, I was like, listen, did you do this yourself? And he looked me in the eye, kind of embarrassed, and he was like, yeah, I might have tried to do my own braces. So after talking to him about the negative problems about doing your own braces, you can lose your teeth from doing it, we finally settled on a way that we could basically polish off the glue, get some new brackets on, and he can now have an orthodontist see him through treatment. But for all the people in the comments and everybody telling me like, oh my gosh, look how terrible this kid did this, you don't know what they're going through, you don't know what the history is. It could be their parents just kind of neglected them for a long time, and then they finally just have to take matters into their own hands. So I try not to judge, but I would say don't do this without a dental professional if possible.